Welcome to the Rich Flow of Life podcast. Join Valerie Kanay, the award-winning authority author, as she takes you on a journey for your personal evolution. Valerie Kanay talks to enlightened featured guests who hold the keys to unlock your unique life situation. They each bring to the table their very powerful personal spin to inspire and empower you to learn to step up your game into the rich flow of life.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Valerie Kanay, and today our featured guest is Hugh Anthony Simmonds. Hugh, I am so proud, pleased, and honored to have him join us today. So let me tell you a bit about him. Hugh is the author of the up-and-coming book entitled The Ultimate Guide to Public Speaking. It's all about the 7 steps to professional mastering, and it's going to be available summer of 2016, and he's going to tell us something about that. So anyways, Hugh is a lifestyle speaker, and that's a term that's new to me, and he's going to share with us about that. And a researcher and a creative director and a higher education lecturer. Therefore, he specializes in coaching executives, government, and creative leaders in the areas of lifestyle branding, public speaking, entrepreneurship, policy, as well as storytelling. Right now, he's currently a doctoral researcher at the University of Waterloo as he takes on the creative and leisure sectors with a passion for film festivals, and Hugh holds several international and distinguished Trustee Kiwanis-sponsored program awards. Now, let me tell you, with all of this progressive experience, he has taken himself all over the world, all over the globe, North America, Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean. So without further ado, welcome, Hugh, to the program.
Hey, Valerie, thank you so much for having me. How are you keeping?
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Hugh. So glad to have you with us today. And so we're going to just hop right in there and start out and fire things up. How is it? We want to understand, what is it about the audience of one in terms of what you explain in your book?
Well, thank you for asking that, Valerie. I found that there is one thing that we have not even realized, because we are so used to speaking to groups of people. And for example, we'll say, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am not gentlemen, you're not ladies. I'm Hugh Anthony and you're Valerie. And the audience of one for a public speaker, professional speaker, or in my case, a lifestyle speaker, it should be focused on the individual in your audience, because it's the individual who came to listen to you.
Gotcha. So speak as if you're talking to that one person?
Indeed, yeah.
Okay. And I did want you to share, like I said, it's a new term to me, about lifestyle speaker. Hugh, what exactly does that mean, a lifestyle speaker?
So as a lifestyle speaker, or being a lifestyle speaker, Valerie, and the audience, we focus our energies on what we do daily. So for example, I am the author of this forthcoming book. I speak to people on a daily basis. I'm connecting with individuals, and I hear them say, oh, I don't speak in public, but you're not at home and you're talking to me. Yeah, you're in the office talking with your colleagues, and then you're saying, oh, I don't speak in public. The only time you don't speak in public is when you're having a conversation with yourself.
It's true.
So we get into not realizing that the things we do. So for example, what do we do as recreation activities or leisure when we go on vacation? What do we like to do? So for example, I'm a foodie. I love food. When I travel globally, I'm going to the markets, I'm going to the little haunts or the joints. And I learn that food connects people. So I speak about food. And if you think of Thanksgiving, you think of Easter, you think of Hanukkah, you think of Christmas, think about those events, a birthday or an anniversary. Think about those events in our lives that we are invited to or we host. Food forms a part of that experience. Let's go for a coffee, Valerie. Coffee connects people. So I focus on things, simple things that can have great impact as a lifestyle speaker.
Okay. So that's awesome. So what you're saying is oftentimes when people think they're afraid of speaking, it's because you're not speaking about what you enjoy.
You hit the nail right on the head.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you enjoy something, you're certainly going to want to share it and talk about it. So that's the whole thing on that. And so why is developing the mastery of speaking so important? You talk a bit about that. Share that with us.
So the opportunity to develop the mastery, the spirit of mastery, I call it, is how do you connect your passion with people who might be interested but you don't know? How do you unlearn some of the things that you think were good techniques to be a master at what you love to do? And the spirit of mastery shares with the individual in the forthcoming book a simple technique that gives you 7 steps to curate your message.
Okay. And what does that mean, Hugh, when we say curate our message?
How you share your story, how you share your passion. What is it you want to tell your audience when you're speaking to them? And the spirit of mastery will help you through the simple technique that is featured in my forthcoming book, The Ultimate Guide to Public Speaking, 7 Steps to Professional Mastery. It gives you simple techniques that will help you to pretty much say what you need to say in simple language. Because, we need to connect with people because there's beauty in simplicity. Just speak to people, connect with them.
Gotcha. Can you give us a hint or give us one of those techniques?
All right.
A sneak peek?
A sneak peek. And
Yeah.
I'm happy. Thank you for asking. And I'm happy to share that. And when I refer to the Speak Simple technique, really it is what is the single important motivational point for a listening ear. And when I ask you what is the single important motivational point for a listening ear based on something you enjoy doing, is the point of your story is personal. So let's focus on the point that you want to make based on your passion or your lifestyle. And how does it matter to you in connecting with your audience? Your idea that you've identified or your passion you've identified, should you not just build on that point so as to get the audience or the individual in the audience attention? And essentially, when we think of the Speak Simple technique, in the simple, the P in the simple is the point of your story. It's the point of your passion. And that point, pretty much, I'm going to use a term, catch your audience. It is where the interwoven tapestry of your passion happens.
I mean, this is really good stuff because I'm learning. I'm going to need to be the first in the lineup. I'm learning. Yeah, because, obviously I do a lot of talking. Valerie Kanay talks. And so I'm always looking for ways to increase, the value that I give to people. So this is just really good stuff, Hugh. I so enjoy you sharing. And so you keep mentioning about storytelling. So tell us about storytelling and how we learn the art of storytelling.
Sure. And I just want to add, Valerie, you do add a lot of value to your audience. And I want to thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I want to put that out there.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
The listening audience needs to know this, that you do add a lot of value. You're welcome. So storytelling, the beauty that we bring, it's crazy. Sometimes I grew up listening to stories from my grandparents. I grew up listening to stories from my parents, my friends, even to this day, I am listening to stories from my mentor and my business coach. And the question around how we tell our stories as human beings, as speakers, it is very important so we can connect with the people who we are sharing the story with. Because then we talked about earlier developing the spirit of mastery. And of course, we want to understand the audience of one. So the audience of one wants to hear your story, and everyone has a story. So just take a moment and reflect. And if we think of, one of our favorite stories, that connects us, it may be a gem for a life, a memorable moment, a thought, shared, or an idea. The power of your story is packed with life lessons, triumphs, challenges, and inspirations. So how can we share that story to empower people? So as a lifestyle speaker, I train my clients, corporate and individuals, on what are the three things that you need to know to tell your story. And it might appear difficult, but storytelling is simple yet powerful. And there are three key elements I'm going to share with our listeners today. And the first one is the why matters. So you want your audience to know why your story matters by giving the context to the presentation. The context of the presentation doesn't necessarily start at the beginning, however.
Okay.
So
That's good to know.
yeah. So is it relevant? What will challenge your audience? What will you let them understand? So I teach and I coach my clients to not start at the beginning of their story, but to start after the beginning of their story, to engage and to capture the attention. Because you know what? There's beauty in mystery. And the why
It
helps.
is.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the why helps you to share that mystery. The second point I want to share with us, our listeners, is the how matters. Your audience came to interact with you. The individual they took their time to listen, to come share with you, and to listen and be engaged in your presentation. And how you make them understand your stories, it's essential, it's critical. And why the how matters in your art of storytelling is you make it personal. And as a lifestyle speaker, my responsibility to the individual in my audience is to make the story personal. The audience is there to hear us. So when I share with the individual in my audience, yes, it's, authenticity is important, but the how is really helping the audience to connect, that I'm able to share my vulnerabilities and my triumphs and connect with them, because we all tend to want to hear why the story matters, but the
How?
it's a speaker's duty to also connect.
That's the connectivity.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
That's like the lifeline. It brings it all together. Yeah, I get you on that. Okay. Like I said, I like the way you break it all down, because although you know the elements, you never separate them out in the way that you distinguish and describe it, so you can look at each section of what you're doing.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a real good thing. So keep on going now.
Okay, thank you, Valerie. And the third element that I'm sharing is the wow factor. So we have the why, we have the how. So I take the HY off the why, and I take the H off the how, and I get the wow. So the wow factor, how do we create the wow in our story as speakers, as human beings with passions and interest, That is the key thing that your audience will take away long after they have interacted with you. And there is this expression, they may not always remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. And that's what matters most to your audience. So the individual in your audience wants to know, what is the wow factor in the storytelling? So I'll just share this. The takeaway is, one of my most profound storytelling experience is from my grandmother, and it's her journey to New York, and she said to me, "It was cold." I'm like, "What was cold?" And
The mystery, right?
yeah, the mystery, And then she said, I needed to get a coat. And I'm like, okay, so there's a buildup. There's a build. But the wow factor is it was a warm experience because of the people she met. And I'm like, but she started with cold. She had to get a coat, so I think she needed to be kept warm. And then she, shared that after so many years being there, it was the people who were so warm. And it felt like a contradiction. I'm like, how could you start with cold and then end up with warm? And I was glued to every word that was dropping out of my grandmother's mouth. Every word. Yeah, so she created the why for me to listen, how she wanted to engage me, and the wow, that's what I remember profoundly, bless her soul. She's no longer in the land of the living with us, but yeah.
Yeah, bless her soul. Yeah.
And that's the wow factor, So when she speaks of, that, and when she spoke with me today, even in my own interactions, my travel, or especially when I make it to the amazing city, or state you call home, is the people. That's what my grandmother left with me. No matter how big that city was.
Right.
People were so warm.
Warm and beautiful people. And that's the amazing content she took away from her travels.
So the key elements, to the art of storytelling, is it makes your story memorable. It makes it powerful, and it's unforgettable. And this is how, as a lifestyle speaker, we allow our story or presentations to resonate with our audience, because the only takeaway they may have is not what you said, but how you share the story and how that story made them feel. So I just want to share those three, elements, with your audience and the listeners.
All right, Hugh, so I'm just so fascinated and I'm so intrigued by everything you're explaining, and I can't wait to see the book and all the incredible keys and, the strategies and putting everything together the way you've designed it into your book. So as our program has come to an end, just give us your final thoughts and how people can hook into you and begin to work with you to get their speaking to the level of where they want it to be.
Firstly, is just for them to check out the Ultimate Guide to Public Speaking, 7 Steps to Professional Mastery page on Facebook. And of course, I'm on Twitter. My hashtag is HUANTHONI on Twitter. And of course, we have our VIP experience. So people can sign up from the Facebook page or Twitter for the book that's forthcoming this summer. And pretty much it will share with them some of the offers I have. And for training, they can contact me through Facebook also or Twitter, and I'll be happy to respond to them within 48 hours. And I can work with them to organize a one-on-one session anywhere in the globe they are. So distance and space and time is not a challenge.
Not a challenge. And that is so good with the day's world that we live in. You've got Skype, you've got everybody have these international plans. What other modes of mediums, how you're able to do it? Are those the main ones?
Yeah, so Skype is one of my platforms. I'm on Periscope also. And of course, I am on Facebook. It's HUGH Anthony, and they'll get to see a cover of my book on my Facebook page. So,
there you go.
Those are the platforms. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Hugh, I just want to say that I don't take lightly that you took your time out to be with Valerie Kanay and fool around with me here with your wonderful, wonderful message. And I do love you dearly. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Love you, Valerie. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Rich Flow of Life podcast with host Valerie Kanay. We're most appreciative you took the time to be with us. And thank you. For more action, go subscribe to Valerie Kanay Talks YouTube channel and like us on Facebook at Valerie Kanay Talks and follow us on Twitter at Valerie Kanay. Until next time, we love ya.